Hey everybody, it is Christopher here with 3DO Gaming, and today I am sitting here with my Retroid Pocket 2, and it has been now 6 months that I've had this device. Where has the time gone? So I first reviewed this in the end of August of last year, and I love the device. I was in the initial pre-order, so it's one of the earliest that received the device, and the Retroid Pocket 2 has been my favorite since then. And let's go ahead and we're going to go into it a little bit, go over some of the specs on the device. We're going to have some gameplay, some accessories that you could get with the device, and basically my feelings after 6 months with the Retroid Pocket 2. In terms of technology, 6 months is a long time, although I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long at all, but a lot changes in 6 months. However, as I said, when I received this was my favorite device that I had owned for retro gaming, and it still is. Nothing has changed that. Now, there's been some great entries into the market since this came out, notably the RG351P and the Pocket Go S30, which I've covered fairly extensively on my channel, and I've done some comparison videos there showing what I like about all of them. They all have some nice features on it. They all have a little bit of a downside. There's no way of making a perfect device, not in this price range, to be honest, because there's always something that people will want more of, less of, but the Retroid Pocket 2 is still my favorite. Now, this device initially came out with 3 colors. Came out with this color here that I have. It also came with a baby pink and a blue. They've since adjusted the colors. They added a lot more colors. They canceled some of the colors. I would imagine it was based on sales, whether it was popular or not. But the device is still phenomenal. Now, for a brief rundown of the Retroid Pocket 2. The Retroid Pocket 2 itself is an Android-based player. Now, this came with Android 6.0 on there. It does have a quad-core 1.5 gigahertz processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM. The storage, one of the nice things about the Retroid Pocket 2, which I would love to see on other devices, is it has internal memory. So some of the other devices will either put everything on one SD card, which if you mess that card up, you lose that card, the card gets corrupted, you've lost your entire device. You'd have to re-download all the firmware. Some other devices, like the earlier models, like the RG350, do have a dual SD card system, whereas one SD card is where you put your games, your ROM files. The other SD card is the actual firmware for the device. Same situation there. SD cards are a little more delicate than hard drives itself, so if it gets corrupted, something happens with it there, same thing, you have to redo all the firmware. The nice thing with the Retroid Pocket 2, it has an internal hard drive built in. That internal drive is nothing you can really mess around with, so it's really difficult for you to actually mess up the firmware on the device, so the device is going to run. It does have an SD card slot. It is located right on the bottom of the device, right there, the trans flash card, TF card. And that is where you'd actually load up your ROMs. Now, the device itself comes with a 32 gigabyte memory card. Per the manufacturer, it can accept up to 128 gigabytes. I have seen some say 512 gigabytes. I do use a 256 gigabyte memory card in my device, and I'll go over that in a little bit with you there, but this is the one that I actually use. It's Samsung UO Select 256 gigabyte card. I use it in most of my devices now. I love it. It works really good. I've had no problems with it. I have it in this device. I have it in my RG351P. In my Switch, I don't use it. I have an older one that I had a 200 gigabyte card. I still have in that one, but I do have a 256 gigabyte card extra, which I have right here, which I plan on upgrading in there if I need to, or I may move it over to my Sega Saturn, which I have an ODE drive in there. Now, with the Retroid Pocket 2, it does, one of the nice things about this compared to a lot of the other devices, the display on this is phenomenal. This display on this device, it's a 3.5-inch screen, which Hopefully in the next iteration, they do expand that a little bit. But it is a 640 by 480 screen. A lot of the other ones are a 320. So it's got double the resolution of most of the other handheld devices. So you get a lot crisper picture on there. It's good sound quality. It does have stereo speakers right in the front, which I like. I also like that it has this lip here where the speakers are, because when you're holding it, it gives you some more support there. So it's not, doesn't feel too tiny in your hands. Now it is an Android 6.0 device from the manufacturer. It's a dual boot system. Now the dual boot system, what that means is you have the Android side here, which I'm loading up right now for you. But there's also an application on there called Retroid. And once you click on that, it actually takes you into the second operating system, which is a closed operating system. It has its own game store, has preloaded games that are located in there. And it's more of just a pick up and go. If you just want to play games, not mess around with any of the settings, not mess around with the device itself, you just want to play, you can go in there and it has a slew of games. Now my device itself came with over 2,000 games. I do have links in the description there to let you see what games my device came with. But there were a ton of games available on there. And on the store itself, there's over 10,000 games available for you to download. Now, to make this all happen, the beauty of this device here, built-in Wi-Fi. No dongles, no attachments you need to connect to it. Wi-Fi is just in the device and it works great. Secondly, it has Bluetooth. So built-in Bluetooth. Now the benefit of the built-in Bluetooth, if you want to use a controller on the device, you can. Now you might be saying, well, you got a retro handheld here, has a controller built in. Why do you need to use an extra controller? Well, the beauty of that is this device here, right on top, you have your charging port, of course. You also have an HDMI out port. So you connect your HDMI cable to this, connect it to your TV. You can either play directly from this device on your TV itself, or with that Bluetooth that's available, connect your controller, like this one here, an 8BitDo SN30 Pro controller, connect it to the Retroid Pocket 2, and now you have a retro home console. So it connects to the TV, you use your controller, sit back, relax, you can play your games on the big screen. Now, I have shown that on a video on my channel. I will put a link in the description for that too. It works really good. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. And I have played Android games on there, which you have full access to the Play Store. Another benefit of the Retroid Pocket 2 and having an Android-based operating system. Or you can play your retro games on there, whether you want to play it through RetroArch, Classic Boy. All of those are options that you have with the Retroid Pocket 2. Now, capability-wise on this device. This device can play a ton of different kinds of games. I believe I've tried over 20 different systems on my channel that you can see videos of on my channel from the Retroid Pocket 2. Anywhere from your Atari games, your Nintendos, your Super Nintendos, N64, your Master System from Sega, your Genesis, your Dreamcast is available on here. Your Sony systems, your PS1, your PSP, you can play on the device here. You can play your TurboGrafx 16 if you want to. Neo Geo is available on here. The Atari Lynx is on here for handheld gaming. So there are a ton of options on here and a ton of different games for you to try out. Speed-wise on the games, it runs most of the games on the high end. When I speak high end, I mean your PSP, your Nintendo DS, your Sega Dreamcast. It'll run most of those games really, really well. Now, once you get into the higher end, I mean, realistically, there are going to be some that have some issues. But overall, most of the games are extremely playable. I've enjoyed this device there. The N64 games are really playable on here. And you have a lot of different options available because you have an Android-based system. To give you an example, for a Nintendo 64, you can play it in Classic Boy if you want. You can play it in Mutant 64 if you wanted to. N6408 is available on here, pre-installed. And you can also play it in the Retroid operating system itself. So there's a ton of different choices available for you. Now with the Retroid Pocket 2, I was speaking on some controllers a little bit earlier. Especially when you connect it to the TV, it makes it a lot more convenient. You can sit back, relax. But also, if you're just playing the device on its own, you may want to pick up a controller. controllers they feel great in the hands. They're most commonly used. I mean, you use it with any of the home systems you've had. And especially like when I'm recording the videos for you, I like using a controller because I can make sure that the device itself is centered completely. You can always see the screen. My hands aren't in the way. I'm not holding it at a weird angle by chance, so it just makes it really easy to use. Now, the two controllers that I use the most, and the two that I recommend the most, are these ones here. The Retrobit Gaming Sega Saturn controller and the 8BitDo SN30 Pro. I have the Xbox Edition controller. Now, both of these controllers connect beautifully with the device through Bluetooth. Different stylings. Your Sega Saturn controller is going to be more of your retro style, that it doesn't have the analog sticks. It is purely just for your 16-bit era gaming, and you can use it with modern ones all the way up to some Android games. We're perfectly fine with it. The 8BitDo SN30 Pro, I love the feel of it. It is similar in design to the Super Nintendo controller. Dual analog sticks on here. And that is the most common one that I use when I record videos for you on the Retroid Pocket 2 itself. Both these are available on Amazon. They work great. I'll have links in the description for this, as well as any item I do discuss here. But I always recommend getting these, especially for the home console setup. Using your Retroid Pocket 2 on the go is a phenomenal feeling. It is a phenomenal way of playing the system. But the ability to use that HDMI out, connect it to your TV, it just adds a whole new dimension and a whole new subset of features that are available on the Retroid Pocket 2 that you don't find on a lot of other handsets. The built-in Bluetooth, built-in Wi-Fi, the HDMI out. So you get your retro handheld console and you get your retro home console all in one with the Retroid Pocket 2. Now onto storage. The Retroid Pocket 2 does have a 32 gigabyte card that comes with it. 32 gigabytes is going to be mainly used up already though with the Retroid operating system, as well as the games that they've pre-installed for you. So you're only going to have a few gigabytes available on that card. I definitely recommend, as soon as you get the device, it's the best time to do it. It's the easiest time to do it. Go ahead and update your memory card. The one I recommend the most is this one. I've talked about it before in other videos. I use it in my device. Here's mine. There's my card right there. The Samsung Evo Select 256 gigabyte memory card. I have had zero problems with this card. It has run flawlessly on this device, and it's so good that I actually bought additional ones for my other devices. I went ahead and upgraded almost all my SD cards to this one here, just because it's worked great and I've had no problems at all. And that's the biggest thing. Get cards that are reliable. There's always going to be cheaper ways to get a card. If you go searching through any of the online stores, you can find no branding cards. I won't even say off-brand cards because a lot of them don't even have a brand name on there. But they're really cheap. The problem with SD cards is they do fail. Cheaper ones fail a lot more often. But I've had no problems with this. I've used this in multiple devices, and it's one I definitely recommend. Samsung is a world-class company. 256 gigabytes, in my opinion, is more than enough on there. You can fit literally thousands and thousands of games. I have my whole console library on there, and 64 games, Super Nintendo games, Sega CD games, Sega Dreamcast games. You literally can put almost anything in the world you want on there, and 256 gigabytes is going to be a lot of storage space there. So, and for the value, I would recommend sticking with this. I would not look any bigger than that. You're going to get into doubling the price on the card at least, maybe even more than double. And it's a ridiculous amount of space. But 256 gigabytes, Samsung Evo Select is the one I recommend for your storage. As said, I use it, and it just works phenomenally. Now with the Retroid Pocket 2, it is an Android-based system. So you get the benefits on the device itself of playing Android games. And if you go look at one of the videos, I'll link at the end here, when I connected it to the TV, I played Horizon Chase Turbo on here. It is phenomenal. The game runs really, really good, and it's just an amazing game. So I definitely recommend taking a look at the Android store, taking a look at what games are available on there. But Horizon Chase, phenomenal game. Now, to do this though, you're gonna end up needing some Google Play cards, some Google Play money to download some of the games. Also, definitely recommend getting Drastic DS. It is a Nintendo DS emulator. It is not pre-installed, but it is absolutely necessary to use that to play Nintendo DS games. They play so much better on that emulator. To help you along with that, first part of our giveaway here, I'm gonna be giving away a $10 Google Play card. We'll be doing that. The giveaway starts as soon as this lands, and the end of April 30th, I'll announce a winner. So to win this card, $10 card, all you need to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, post a comment below saying what is the first game system you've ever owned. So whether you started off with Nintendo, if you started way back with the Atari, the VCS, or if you're a younger person and you started off, say, with the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2, go ahead and leave me a message below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a message below on what console you started off gaming with, and you'll be entered to win a $10 gift card from Google Play. Additionally, I did just talk about the Samsung Evo Select cards. There's going to be a second drawing with this video. This one's going to go until May, so you have a little more time to do this one. The end of May, same thing. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, favorite video games or first favorite video game system you ever had, and you'll be entered into a 128 gigabyte Samsung Evo Select card. So I have an extra one of those laying around. I want to go ahead and give that away. So you're going to get, and if you enter, a $10 Google Play gift card, which you can download Horizon Chase, or you can download Drastic DS on your Retroid Pocket 2. And you'll also be entered in for a 128 gigabyte Samsung Evo Select memory card. So you can go ahead and update your Retroid Pocket 2 card on me, basically. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, post that comment below on what your first video game system was, and you're entered in both contests. I'll also be posting everything on Twitter at 3DO Gaming, so all the winners will be notified on there as well. So go ahead and follow me on there too, so you can stay updated with that. Hey everybody. We are now going to be going into some gameplay on the Retroid Pocket 2 on the 6-month review. Now I'll be going through several other systems available through the Retroid Pocket 2 to be emulated, including Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Color, Neo Geo Pocket Color. We'll do Game Gear, we'll do some Genesis, we'll have some Dreamcast, as well as some other systems. So let's go ahead and start, and I'm going to start off with Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. Now this is using the SNES 9X EX Plus emulator. So let's go ahead and dive right in on this one here.
depends on your skill. Go for broke.
Detroit versus Toronto. Here's the opening face-off.
Well, guys, there we go. That'll be the gameplay for now. So put together over 20 games for you to see on this 6-month review of the Retroid Pocket 2. And I was over a dozen systems there's games shown for. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you like the video here. 6 months later with the Retroid Pocket 2, I still love this system. It is, the capabilities of it are really amazing. Being able to play so many different systems, I think I've put up over 20 different systems that are able to be played on here, as well as Android games. And that is something I did not cover in this video, but I will be putting up some more Android videos for the Retroid Pocket 2. But overall, the system is very well built. I love the feel of it there. I love the size of the system. It's not too small. It's not too big. It does have the lift down here, which makes it a little easier to hold. The buttons are nice. The volume button, I like that it actually has a button on there instead of a wheel. It makes it a little more professional, a little more accurate, I think, and less prone to accidentally hitting it. But overall, the system, if you can get one, if you have one, it just is a very, very good system. A little more difficult in some aspects than, say, like the RG351P that I've been showing there. It's a little more straightforward. However, one thing I didn't show in this video, there is the Retroid dual boot system that you can go back into and play games directly on there. I will link, and I'll put links in the description there if you want to see how to get into that system. It does come preloaded. Mine came with over 2,000 games on the device. So hours and hours of gameplay available for you right when you receive yours. But this is still an amazing system 6 months later. And I look forward to seeing what's going to be going on with Retroid, if they are going to be coming out with a new one towards the end of the year. But nothing is in the wind with that. They're still trying to fulfill orders with this. They're still behind on these. Just the demand's been that great. And the fact that you got Android on there, it opens up a whole new world, because you can download your own apps on there. Classic Boy, which is an emulator that I really do like. The quality of it is really good. And it's really straightforward and easy. So if you don't want complexity with this, you have the Retroid OS side. That runs really well. You have RetroArch on here. If you're not familiar with RetroArch, there's Classic Boy that's pre-installed. As I said, I do love Classic Boy emulator. I found it, Sega CD, it runs the best on there. And I've showed you some Sega CD videos here today with that. I really do like the Sega CD, and that's something that getting into the retro handhelds has really allowed me to come back and play some of the games that I have literally on the shelf here. But I mean, we want something now. I mean, it's just so much easier just loading it up on here, even though I have them on the shelves here. It just makes it a lot more, just a lot more straightforward, just putting it on there. But Classic Boy can help you out with that. If you have problems with this, let me know. Leave me a message below. I'll do my best to help you guys out. Listen, I don't work for Retroid. I have nothing in this with Retroid, but the system itself is just a well-built system, and I've been very, very happy with it for more than 6 months. So I just wanted to go ahead and show this off for you there one more time and let you know that, hey, I've had it now for over 6 months, and I still like the system. I still get to see something that was leaps and bounds better than this anywhere near this price point. Coming towards the end of this year, end of 2021, when life finally gets back to normal for everybody, I look forward to seeing what Retroid has coming out. If there's going to be a Retroid Pocket 3, which there may be. I don't know anything. I haven't heard any rumors on that yet. I do hope that they will come out with that. But the screen I do love on this. The quality of the screen is better than any around this price point here. The resolution is better. It's twice the resolution of a lot of these. The buttons, they're not in line. I'll show you what I mean. If you look at the buttons here, your R2 and L2s, they're like a regular center controller, like the 8-bit I've been using in a lot of my videos. You have them like that, instead of how they do on some other devices where they're in line, where you have your L1 here, your L2, and such. I'm not a big fan of that. I do like having them the way they have it on a controller. It just makes it a little more easier to use and a little more natural. But overall, again, as I said, Retroid Pocket 2, phenomenal system. If you do end up picking one up, I'm sure you'll love it. But if you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave me a message below. Be sure to check out the video completely. There are 2 contests going on. You can win a Google Play card. You can win a memory card from Samsung. So go ahead and take a look at that. Let me know what you guys think. But thanks for everything, guys. Have a wonderful night, wonderful day, wonderful wherever it is, wherever you are. And I will see you guys around in the next video. Take care.